In this tutorial, we're going to set up a free MailChimp account. We're going to set up our opt-in forms. We're going to connect our opt-in forms to our website. We're going to create an automated email that's sent out when someone opts in, and it's going to deliver a PDF to them, a PDF that we promised in exchange for their opt-in. We're going to do all of that and more in this tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I try to answer them the best I can. My name is Bjorn Allpass in WP Learning Lab. We help you get better at WordPress so you can earn more for yourself, for your customers, and for your business. And if you haven't done so yet, click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Now let's get started. MailChimp is a great place to get started with your email marketing because they have an awesome free plan, one of the best free plans on the market. On the pricing page, on the marketing tab, we see the free plan over here, which allows you to have up to 2,000 contacts in your account that you're sending emails to. You can send one automated email. So it could be when someone subscribes and you send them a PDF or a gift or just a welcome email saying, hi, welcome to my tribe. You get one automated email. If you want to have more automated emails, like an email sequence that goes out, you have to upgrade to a paid account. So you can have one automated, and you can also have as many broadcast emails as you want, which are one-time emails that you would create and then send out by clicking a send button and send it to everybody on your list or a subset of your list. You can do all that with the free account. But if you want more automation, you have to go to a higher paid account. And I'm going to show you to do all that in this tutorial. But to get started, the first thing we have to do is click on sign up for free or click add to cart right here. Just going to click sign up free in the top corner, enter an email address, and then I'm going to choose WP Learning Lab 2. This is an update video. I did a MailChimp tutorial a long time ago using WP Learning Lab as the username. So I'm just going to add 2 here for a different account name. Add this as a password, add a special character, and we have a checkbox here. This is important. Most websites, when you sign up for stuff, they have a checkbox that you check when you want to receive promotional emails, which you usually leave unchecked unless you like to receive lots of emails. MailChimp is tricky because they do it backwards. If this box is unchecked, then you are receiving the promotional emails. If you don't want them, make sure you check this box. Then click on sign up. Then we check our email for the confirmation message. And this is what the email looks like right here. We click on activate account, and then we click on I'm not a robot, and then we fill in some more information. We choose our plan again. Even though we said sign up for the free plan, they're trying to sell us on a paid plan here, which you might upgrade to in the future, and you also might not. Just depends on your needs. So to recap the free plan, you get 2,000 contacts and 10,000 email sends. I didn't know there was that limit. I feel like that should be a monthly limit, but it might not be, because it doesn't say per month. Anyhow, the free plan is enough to get started. Click on next to choose the free plan, fill in this short form here. The website URL and phone number are optional, so you don't have to add those. So here we have to enter our address. It has to be a real address, and I recommend you don't put your home address in here because this address will appear at the bottom of every single email you send out, and that's required to comply with anti-spam laws around the world. There's really no way to change that. If you delete that section from your email, the address section and the sender information section, which you can delete, then you're not complying with spam laws, and then you can get yourself in trouble. So it's best to fill this out, and it's best to use a business address or a PO box. If you don't have either of those, check out this post right here, which shows you physical address alternatives. You might be able to use some of these, and then you fill out this form and click on continue. Here it asks us if we have a list of contacts, and if you're migrating from a different email provider, or maybe you used to send out manually from your Gmail account or your branded email address account, then you have a list of contacts that you want to import. I'm going to click on yes so I can show you how to do that. And the size will be 500 or less. If you have more than 2,000, you can't be using the free account. So if you have more than 2,000 people you're importing, you're going to have to upgrade when you import. Click on continue. And if you're finding this tutorial helpful, click the like button because that helps this video show up for more people on YouTube so we can spread the knowledge and help more people with this information. So make sure you click like if you like this video. Help us determine the best features for you. You can check these boxes. It shouldn't change the actual dashboard inside of MailChimp, so it doesn't really matter if you pick these or not. And that's also why you're given the option to skip. So you can choose what applies to you or just click on skip. And then you can choose which updates you want to get via email. I'm not going to choose any of these. Click on continue. Now our initial setup is complete. It brings us right into the dashboard, which you can see here. It gives us an overview of what's happening on our account. Currently, not very much because we just signed up for it. But as you send emails and as you create campaigns and as you have interaction from your subscribers, this area is going to be a lot more interesting. So keep an eye on that area once you start sending stuff. To get back to here at any point, if you're poking around inside of MailChimp and you want to get back to the dashboard, just click on the monkey in the top left. When you hover over and it says dashboard, click on that. takes you back to here, and you're back to square one. Up here's a list of things MailChimp recommends that we do. We're going to do all of these except for create a website. We're going to create a landing page where people can opt in, but we're not going to create a website. MailChimp and all the other email providers are trying to be an all-in-one solution, like the higher level providers are, like Keep, which used to be called Infusionsoft, Entreport. Those guys are all-in-one CRMs where you can do pretty much everything, but even they don't do very well on website builders. And I find email providers should be doing email, that's what they're really good at, and they just add on the website builders, and they're not really that great. They're better than Wix, probably. I'm not entirely sure, but they probably are better than Wix, but they're not better than WordPress. So we're going to skip the create a website, but we're going to do all the others. In this video, we're going to progress through your MailChimp account in a rather logical manner. First, we're going to set the default settings for all emails that you're going to send out from your account. Then I'm going to show you how to import your contacts. If you don't have to import contacts, you can skip that part. Then we're going to create an opt-in form that is a pop-up that goes on our website. Then we're going to create an inline form that goes on our website. Then we're going to create a landing page with the opt-in form that we can host on a subdomain on our website. And then we're going to create an email that's sent out whenever someone signs up for any of those opt-in forms. And that's going to be automated. It's going to be sent out immediately after they sign up. And then I'm going to show you a bit about the automations available if you want to upgrade your account in the future. So let's get started first with the default settings for your emails. To set those up, we go to Audience on the left, and then go to Manage Audience and go to Settings. I'll talk about what an audience is in just a minute. So first we want to set our audience name and defaults. We're going to keep our audience name as WP Learning Lab because in the free account we can only have one audience, but we can segment our subscribers using tags. So I'm just going to create one audience called WP Learning Lab, and then there'll be tags like blog subscriber, customer, maybe I even have a tag for specific things that they bought, and then you can send emails to specific segments based on what tags they have. If you have a paid account, you can have multiple audiences and streamline this even further, but for the free account, this is how I do it. Have an overarching umbrella audience name and then use tags to organize. Under the form settings, we can turn on double opt-in or not. Depending which country you're in, you're going to want to have this on, because some countries require it to be on. So check, Google it, and see if your country requires double opt-in. They may not. So make sure you do your research before you choose double opt-in or not. The default from name is going to be my name, and then I'm going to add in square brackets WP Learning Lab. Just so when someone sees the name in their inbox, they recognize who it is. And I give them two chances in this case. The name I use, which is my name, and they might understand that that's my name from my videos or my blog posts or whatever, or they might not. And in which case, hopefully they recognize WP Learning Lab and they realize it's not just random spam, it's actually something they requested. So that's why I add those two in there usually. The default from address, this is the address I signed up for. Whatever address you used to sign up would be here as well. You could have signed up with a Gmail address if you wanted, in which case you probably want to set up a branded email to use in here, like at yourdomainname.com. That will help your emails get into the inbox more often. Gmail addresses are free and they're not verified, and they can often be used by spammers and often are used by spammers. And so inboxes tend to filter those out more often than they'd filter out branded email addresses like this one here. I've got a different tutorial linked to in the card up above and the description down below where I show you how to set up a branded email. I do it in SiteGround, but it works pretty much the same way for any other hosting provider that allows you to create emails. And that's pretty much everyone with cPanel. So it'd be SiteGround, InMotion, Bluehost, HostGator, and lots of others. If they have a cPanel, you can create an email address in there. I'm not going to add a default email subject line because that'll be different every time. And the new subscriber notifications, these are sent to you when someone subscribes if you enter an email address here, or unsubscribes if you enter an email address here. Getting the first few notifications of new subscribers is pretty exciting, but it gets old pretty quick. So you're going to want to come here and turn this off once you're getting 5 or 10 subscribers a day. You're just getting spammed by your MailChimp account, at which point it's less exciting. So I want to come in and turn that off in the future. But if you're first getting started, I find it highly motivational to add your email address in here for the subscribe notifications. I wouldn't put it in for the unsubscribes because that's a little demotivational. So just have it for the subscribers, I would say. These boxes on the right here, I'm going to choose not send final welcome email because we're going to set that up in a moment in this video. I'm going to let them choose whether they want plain text or HTML. Plain text just means the images won't load and there's no funny stuff going on. There's no scripts or anything in the email. A lot of people prefer plain text, and some more secure inboxes only allow plain text as well. So I give users that option if they want to choose plain text or not. If they click that link, then they'll be getting only plain text emails from then on. Send an unsubscribe confirmation to subscribers. This can be a nice touch, also cannot be, because somebody unsubscribes because they don't want your emails. And then you send them an email right after they say they don't want your emails. So some people will get mad when that happens and others don't. Just depends on the person. So you can choose whether you want to have this turned on or not. Then click on Save Audience and Campaign Defaults. And now whenever we create an email, these are the defaults that it's going to have, which saves a bit of work whenever we're creating emails in the future. And before we start sending emails, there's one last thing we want to do is make sure that our email address is authenticated. To do that, we go to Website and Domains, and under Email Domains, we have wplearninglab.com as the domain name that's sending our emails. If you don't have a domain name email address here, you can click on Confirm a Domain, and then Verify Domain, add your email address. Let's do Bjorn at Lunchtime Media, that's a different domain. Click Send Verification Email, and then we log into this email account to get the verification code. And here's the email. You can click Verify Domain or just copy this code and throw it back into this field. Click on Verify, and now we have that domain name verified to send email from. So now whenever you send emails, you can choose to send from any of the domains you have listed here. And we also want to authenticate our domain. Authentication means that we're further verifying that this is a real business, that we put our name on it, and that we're not hiding anything, and that helps our emails get into the inbox. To authenticate, click on Authenticate, and we have to add these options as CNAME records in the DNS of our domain name. Now this could be in your domain name registrar like GoDaddy or Namecheap. This could be in a hosting account where you have your domain hosted. One of those places is going to have DNS records available for you to change. So I'm going to log into GoDaddy because that's where this domain name is registered. And we see the domain name right here. Click on the three dots, click on Manage DNS, and then scroll down. We see some CNAME records already, but we can add more. If we scroll all the way down, there's an Add button. Click on Select, choose CNAME, and then we choose or copy this first part for the host, paste that in there, and then we copy this, and we paste that in there, and then click on Save. And then we do that again. This time we copy this one, which is a backup in case the first one isn't working for some reason. Click on Add, choose CNAME, add that in there. Choose this for the points to, click on Save, and then that's done. This might take some time to authenticate, usually within 24 to 48 hours, but I find it's usually under an hour that it works for me. I'm going to click on Authenticate Domain. I'll probably get an error because it's only been like 1 minute. Yeah, so that wasn't enough time, but after a few hours, you should come back in here, or you can just wait 2 days and then you know for sure it's done. Click on Authenticate Domain so that MailChimp knows your domain name is authenticated, and then hopefully more of your emails will get through to the inbox whenever you are sending emails. And now we're going to create some sign-up forms so people can actually sign up for your list. Make sure you're on the Audience tab if you're not there already, then click on Sign-up Forms. We are going to create all the form types that you see here. There's a form builder, which is like a landing page. There's the embedded forms, which are inline forms that appear right on your website inside the content, maybe in the sidebar, maybe in the footer, maybe in a blog post. There's a pop-up form that pops up when a certain trigger happens. And then there's also a contact form, which is brand new. This allows you to create a contact form for your website through MailChimp, so you don't have to use contact form builders if you don't want to. We also have form integrations. This will be a subject of a separate tutorial. We're not going to do that in this one. So first, let's start with the pop-up form. Click on Select, and this is where we build our pop-up form right here. It's got to be pretty simple because it's going to pop up on our website whenever someone visits it or a certain trigger happens when they're on the site. So we don't want to make it huge and complex. It's got to be small. It's going to be mobile friendly, and we're going to do that right now. So I'm going to keep it really simple. We're just going to use this option we have here, which is an image and an opt-in form and a button and some legalese type stuff at the bottom. You can change the layout by clicking on Layout on the left here, and you can choose image on the right if you want, image on the left, image on the top, no image, and then footer. So it'd pop up right into the footer instead of a pop-up at the middle of the screen. I'm going to choose one we had, which is the image on top. And then we click this spot here to add an image, and we upload our image to here, We can either drag and drop it in, or we click on upload. We find the image on our computer and then click on open. And I downloaded this from a stock photo website and it's uploading it directly to here. I did not compress it. And there's reasons why you want to compress it because it makes the image smaller and load faster. I have tutorials on how to do that. Click on the card up above or the description down below to learn how to compress images for free, and that will make your emails load faster in inboxes. So you definitely want to make sure you compress all images that are uploaded to your MailChimp account. And I think maybe even MailChimp does that as well. But if you compress first and the MailChimp compresses as well, then they'll load even faster. So we have our email marketing image up here, and this newsletter or this sign up form is going to be for an email marketing PDF. For the call to action, I'm going to say sign up for weekly email marketing tips, and I'm going to center this. At a minimum, you have to ask for their email because otherwise you can't send them email. I'm going to click on the plus icon to add the first name field. You can also add more fields like last name, address, phone number, birthday, or you can create custom fields. You can ask them for their dog's name as a field in here. Just keep in mind, the more fields you add, the fewer people are going to sign up. It's proven. Going to add first name, move up to the top. I'm going to make first name not required. Just click on the field. You can change it to not required here or make it required. I'm not going to make it required in this case. You can add a description if you want to explain what this field is. I'll explain it there. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. And the email is always required because it's required. And the subscribe button, I'm going to center this and I'm going to change its color so it matches the color up in the heading a little closer. Not the heading, the image at the top. That's pretty close. And then the second color is the hover color. So if I hover over here now, it just goes back to black. I'm going to make it just a slightly lighter orange so they can see it's hovering. Maybe too much. There you go. That's pretty good. We can add a disclaimer or a note down here. For example, we will never spam you. Center that. Made with MailChimp, cannot be removed in the free account. You can remove it in the paid account. And some more settings on the left here. We can change the style. For example, the font. If you don't like Helvetica, for the headings, you can choose any other one that you have listed here. Lucida, I'm going to choose Arial. And the paragraphs, Courier New, looks pretty official. I'm going to choose something easier to read. Helvetica. And then we also have colors for headings in the paragraphs. We can also change the text size from small, medium to large. I'm going to choose large. And under settings, we can have the overlay opacity change. We don't see a change here, but it's the color around the pop-up. I believe when this is moved all the way to the left, there is no background when the pop-up comes. And depending on the design, people might not notice there's a pop-up. So I like to have some kind of background color so the whole page is affected and people can really see what's going on. Just going to put that in the middle. You can choose a display trigger. You can choose immediately, which is super annoying. I don't recommend you do that. This would be when someone comes onto your page, immediately they get a pop-up. They don't even know who you are yet probably. They don't know if they can get value from you. I wouldn't recommend immediately. Personally, I would choose scroll to the middle of the page, to the end of the page, or my favorite, on exit. So I'm going to choose on exit to show you how that works. That's my favorite one. Here we can remove the MailChimp branding, the badge at the bottom, if we have a pro account. And we have position set to modal, which is the pop-up in the middle of the screen, like it is here, or slide in from the bottom, just come sliding from the bottom of the website, the bottom corner. Much more subtle. I'm going to choose modal just so it stands out. And one last thing, I'm going to change the subscribe button. You can just double click on it and start typing here. I'm going to change it to sign up now. And then we also need to customize our success message. This is what they'll see after they subscribe. So they will see this form. If they opt in, then in this exact same form space, this message will appear. By default, it says thanks for subscribing. I'm going to say thanks for signing up. Check your inbox for my free top 10 email marketing tips PDF download, because I want them to check their inbox. I want them to actually go there and see what it is. If they go there and open it, it's a good signal for email senders that you are a quality sender, and they also get the free PDF download if they go check it out. So I want them to do that as soon as possible. Then I recommend you preview. Click on preview up here. You'll see how it looks on desktop and mobile. Make sure it all checks out and looks the way you want it. And then we need to connect our site. This is the last step to get a pop-up functioning on our website. Let's click on Connect Website. And we have to enter our website here. I'm just going to go and copy the URL, paste it in there, click on Get Started. And now we have to put this code into the head section of the website. There's multiple ways to get this done. You can do it how I'm going to show you right now using a plugin. You can also do this through your functions file. I have linked to the tutorial in the card up above and the description down below to do that. You can also edit the theme files directly. I don't recommend that, but you can do it. You can also create a child theme and duplicate the header file and put this code into that header file. My point is there's lots of ways. The easiest way is what I'm going to show you now, but it requires a plugin. The second easiest way requires no plugin, but you do have to get in some code in the functions file, but it's pretty straightforward, and I'll walk you through all of it in the tutorial I referenced just a moment ago. So choose one of those two methods to get the script onto your site. Make sure you click copy to clipboard, then head over to your website. Let's go into the dashboard, and then go to plugins and add new. I'm going to look for insert headers and footers. This is what I want right up here. There's a couple different plugins that will do the same thing. I like the WP Beginner one. It's very well made. It's very straightforward, as we've seen in just a second. Click on install and activate. If you're doing this on a live site, you want to make sure that you have a backup of your site before you activate new plugins. Just in case something goes wrong, you can revert back to the backup. I've linked to the tutorial up above and in the description down below to help you back up your site and make sure you're safe just in case something happens. Go to settings and then insert headers and footers. And now we have 3 boxes. The first one puts scripts in the header. The second puts scripts in the body. Third puts scripts in the footer. So it's super simple. It's going to paste in here scripts in the header, which is where we want this code to go. Click on save. And now head back to here and click on check connection. It says it didn't work, but sometimes even when you get this message, it works anyway. Just going to check to make sure we have the code on our site. Let's just hard refresh this home page and view page source. And if we search for the script, which is currently still on the clipboard, we see it is here. And the closing header tag is right here. So it is in the right section. It's in the head section. It's in between the closing tag, which is here, and the opening tag, which is way up here, right there. So it's in the head section. It's where it's supposed to be. Sometimes it takes a few minutes, as it says right here. Take a minute or two for this to actually connect and recognize there's a connection. So it's going to wait a minute and come back when it's ready. Unfortunately, whenever I try this, I get this error right here. It says we can't detect your website to publish your pop-up. Even though the website's online, it is detectable. The code is there. There's something with my hosting account, in this case for this site's InMotion, that's somehow blocking it, and it's giving MailChimp a 406 error and saying, I'm not going to do this for you. I haven't been able to determine what the exact problem is, but I'm still looking into that. So stay tuned if I find a solution. And now I'm going to do this on a site on SiteGround, and it should work without a problem. And the site we're going to put it on is WP Speedify. This is on SiteGround, and it's the exact same opt-in. Adding the code is the exact same process we saw a moment ago. It's just I already did that all on the site to not show you again because you don't have to see it 2 times. Then we connect the site. We paste in this domain name. Click on Get Started. The code's already there. Click on Check Connection. And this time it worked just fine. Click on this to turn it on and then close. And now when we go to this website and we refresh the page, and as I move the mouse away from the page to exit to go to up to the back button or to leave the site, that's when the pop-up's going to appear. So let's just exit, and there's the pop-up. Pulls in the image. We have the opt-in form right here. Let's just fill this out really quick. Let's make this Bjorn1. Click on sign up now. Thanks for signing up. Check your inbox. And I clicked outside and it went away. But it said check your inbox for the top 10 free email marketing tips. And now that user that is opted in with Bjorn1 is going to be in our audience list. And go to all contacts and you see them right here. A bunch of others have been added already because I went to the end of the tutorial and filmed all the rest. And then I came back to redo this part because this opt-in wasn't working. So you'll see these ones, Bjorn2, Bjorn3 being added as we go. And these other ones, like this one and this one and this one, I don't know where they came from, but they're there. And now we're going to go ahead and build the next opt-in form type and add it to a WordPress site so I can show you how that works. Next, we're going to create what's called an inline form, which is a form that appears directly in a blog post or in the footer or in the sidebar widgets. And we can do that really easily using a MailChimp plugin on our WordPress site. But first, let's get to this page right here in a MailChimp account. To get here, we go to the Audience tab, go to Signup Forms. You'll see this list here. And we can do this really easily in 2 ways. We can either install a plugin on our WordPress site, or we can use the embedded forms option here. I'm going to use a plugin because that's going to output a shortcode, which makes our life a whole lot easier. If we use the embedded forms, we will need to copy and paste code again, and we saw how that works. So it's just the same way of doing it. This would need to be copy and pasted where you want the form to appear. It's just a little more difficult than using the plugin. So I'm going to go to our website and install the MailChimp plugin. Let's go to plugins and then add new. Install, we'll look for MailChimp. It should show up. The one we want is this one right here. Click on install now. And whenever you're installing plugins on a live website, don't forget you want to back up your site first. Just in case something goes wrong, you can revert back to your backup. There's a tutorial in the card up above and the description down below to help you with that if you need help. Click on activate once it's installed. And now if we scroll all the way down on the left-hand side here, we have MC for WP. Click on that. And the first thing we have to do is connect our MailChimp account to our WordPress account. For that, we need the API key. We can just click right here. Since we're already signed into MailChimp, let's take us right to the page with the API keys. Let's open that in a new tab. And then you'll probably see this right here. You don't have any API keys yet. Click on create a key and it'll make one for you. Then we just copy this, bring it over to our site, paste it in here, click on save changes. And now we are connected. And we can create our first sign up form using this plugin. It shows the list names on our account. We only have one since we're on the free account. If you're on a paid account and say you added lists after you installed this plugin, you can click on renew MailChimp lists. It'll go to your MailChimp account, pull all the lists back into here so you can have an accurate list. You can create opt-in forms for different parts of your website that connect people to different lists in your MailChimp account. But for that, you would need a paid account so you can have more than one list. So let's create our form by clicking on form. Let's give it a title. We're going to call this blog opt-in. Choose which list. We only have one. Click on add new form. And we can start building our form right down here. We have the form code on the left, which is the HTML code of the form. And on the right, we have the form preview. And up here, we have the fields available right along here. And email address is grayed out because that one's already on our form. The form fields are down below. These are more interactive options like a submit button, list choice, a form action, and agree to terms, which would be a checkbox. And we're going to add the first name field to our form here. And the form code, we want to make sure that we click at the very top outside of the paragraph tag. So the cursor is now on its own line. I'll click on first name. I've entered, please enter your first name as a placeholder. I'll make this field not required. There's no initial value. Click on add to form. And here's our first name field and our email address. If you wanted to, after the sign up form, add agree to terms, maybe before the sign up form, put it right here. I'll click on agree to terms. I will make this required. I will just make a dummy page for a privacy policy. It's not a real URL, but if we did have a privacy policy on this website, this is probably where to go. Make this field required, so they have to check the box to be able to proceed. Click on add to form, and there we have the agree to terms. Click on Save Changes whenever you're done making your form. And then we'll want to also go to Messages. And this is where we change the messages that are associated with this form. The most important one is the success message. By default, it says, thank you, your sign-up request was successful. Please check your email inbox to confirm. If you have double opt-in turned on, which I'll show you where to set that up in just a second, then you want to have this call to action to confirm the email. If you don't have double opt-in turned on, don't put it in there. And it depends on which country you're in or which country your business is operating in, whether or not you have to have the double opt-in. I'm going to change this to thanks for signing up. Check your inbox for a free gift. Make sure I save my changes. On the settings tab, we can choose which list they go to. In our account, we only have one. We can choose whether double opt-in or single opt-in. I'm going to choose no for the purposes of this video. But again, check which country you're in to see if you have to have it or not. You can update existing subscribers. So MailChimp will match their email address to a record and see if there is information to update. In this case, all we're asking for is a name and an email address. So all it would update is the name. Whereas if you had a larger form where you're asking for a name, address, favorite color, favorite food, stuff like that, you can use that to update existing subscribers if you want to. You can give them a tag so they're organized within your MailChimp account. I'm going to call this blog signup. You can have multiple tags. You can just add a comma and add another one, like general, for example. And you can hide the form after successful signup. I'll keep that as yes. And you can redirect to a specific URL after a successful signup. This is, for example, where you could have a download for something, for a PDF or something. So if they sign up, they could immediately get their download. And you'd want to do this only if you have single opt-in enabled. Because if you have double opt-in enabled, they'd have to confirm their email before you want them to get their download, whereas this would bypass that. They just go right to the download page, would have to confirm their email, they wouldn't be part of your list, and that wouldn't be the best business practice. And also, even if you're on single opt-in, you might want them to check their email and have a download link in the email, because them opening the email improves your deliverability. So it's always best to get them to go to your email first. Click on Save Changes if you made any changes in here. On the Appearance tab, we can choose the style that is inherited by the form. By default, it chooses your theme. So the fields on the form, for example, the green sign up button, the text on, the color for the link, the hover effect on the link, the fonts, all that stuff is determined by my theme and does that by default. But you can also choose basic, light, dark, red, green, blue. These are built into MailChimp. Or you can choose the one from your active theme. And choosing the one from your active theme fits better with your site because it just takes whatever the theme CSS and theme styling is and applies it to your form. So I'm going to keep that as it is. Then we can click in here and copy the shortcode. And wherever we put this shortcode is where this form will appear on our website. So if we go to a post, let's go to an existing one and let's click on Edit. And then let's say right here, click on the plus icon, add a shortcode, paste it in, update, and then let's view the post. And there's our form. As you can see, the please enter your first name doesn't quite fit. So we want to shorten that or extend the form field using custom CSS if you want. But now we can just enter our name and our email address. Let's just say bjorn2@wplearninglab.com. I've read and accepted conditions. Click on sign up. And it says, thanks for signing up. Check your inbox for a free gift. Then let's see if they're actually on our list. Under the audience tab, go to all contacts. And we see Bjorn2 right here with the tags blog sign up in general. We can use those later on to specifically email specific groups inside of your MailChimp account. And you're not limited to putting this just in your blog post. Let's put it somewhere else. Let's remove that block. Let's update. And let's put it into the website sidebar, for example. Let's first make sure we have a sidebar. There's a sidebar right here. So we can put the sign up form just in the sidebar by going to Appearance and Widgets. And our main sidebar is listed right here. And I'm going to take the text widget and put it over here and paste in our shortcode. Click on Save. Now if I go out here and refresh, we see our form right here, just as we saw it earlier, and they filled the form and it works the exact same way, just in a different location. And so that's how easy it is to use the MailChimp plugin to create forms. And the last kind of form we want to cover in this tutorial is a landing page form. So if we go back into MailChimp and go to campaigns this time, not in our forms area, go to create a campaign and choose from our list right here, landing page. This will allow us to create a great looking landing page that's either hosted on MailChimp or on our website, and it's a landing page just for the opt-in form. So I'm going to call this Email Marketing Tips PDF opt-in. The list they go to is the only list we have, our audience, and then we click on Begin. Now we can use one of the templates or we can start from scratch if we want. I'm going to use one of the templates. I'm going to use this one right here, lead generation, because that's what we want to do, generate leads. And this is a form builder that is drag and drop and allows you to edit pretty much anything on the page. But when you're trying to get someone to opt in, you really want to keep things easy, simple, short, concise, to the point, and valuable. Having a logo up here I found doesn't really matter. People don't really care about your logo when it comes to downloading your content. They really just want value from the content. So if you feel you have to have a logo, just make it really small. That's usually what I do. I make it as small as possible up here. Because also if they're viewing on mobile, you don't want your logo to take up a lot of the real estate. So I'm actually going to take it off for this example. You can always add it down below. Or right here in the About Us section, you keep that and just say about my company, whatever your company name is, and just have some information about it down here and have the value front and center. So for the headline, I'm going to change it to get the top 10 email marketing tips checklist down below. And then this would be a blurb. You want to take some time to actually describe it in a little bit of detail or have persuasive bullet points that gets people to want to opt in. And then we have the opt-in down here. I'm going to change this from collect the details you need to stay in touch to get your free checklist by filling in the form below. And then there's an email address. We can also add other fields just by checking these boxes. You can rearrange them by clicking and dragging on the 3 dots. And we should be able to get that up above email. For some reason we can't. And that's kind of awkward. So for this one, let's just choose email. And the subscribe button text, going to change it to get your checklist. The confirmation message will be success. You've been added to the audience. I'm going to change this to success. Check your email for your free download. And you can also have it go to a web address if you wanted. Again, this would be for single opt-in because you don't want them to bypass the double opt-in. On the style tab, you can change all kinds of styling related to this page. I kind of like it short and simple. I don't even really need this About Us section, but I'll keep it in there because it's a nice touch. You can change your social icons down here. Just add your URLs for your social icons, or take some off by clicking the little X, or add some others by clicking on here. And they have a lot to choose from. See if YouTube's on here. There's YouTube. That's so easily you can add another icon. And then if you click on Style and Settings, it's specific to this social icon. So whenever you go to Style and Settings, it's usually specific to the section you're in. If I go to the form, Style and Settings are specific to the sign-up form. And when I make sure nothing is selected, then we have other blocks we can add. Images, I'll add an image at the very top. Image groups, image galleries. I will add this one again, the one we uploaded earlier. And we can add or change the style, change the settings. And again, if we save and close that section, we can change the style for the entire page, which are these options here, for the page, for the header, for the body, the footer, mobile styles, notification bar, and MailChimp badge. You can change all those there. And when you're all done, click on preview, and you can preview it on desktop and mobile to make sure it looks as it should. If I was making this a legit opt-in form, I'd crop this image so it's just around email marketing. So on mobile, it'd be nice and small. But for the purposes of this video, this will do. And then we can click on Save and Close. And now we go through these couple settings here. The page title, we already added earlier. The URL is auto-generated. This is where the landing page lives. The audience we selected earlier, and the content we just created. This URL is something you might want to change. I'm just going to copy this. And we can change it by going to Edit URL, which we'll do in just a minute. But first, we're going to see how this page actually looks. Let's click on Publish. And there's the URL again. We can click on it. And here's our landing page, which you can now share to Facebook. You can share with your friends. You can send to your mom. You could do whatever you want with that link that you normally do with internet links. So how do we change this link to be something a little nicer? Because when people come here, it's going to look like this. Anybody who's been around the internet for any amount of time will look into the address bar and see that this domain name up here doesn't really instill trust. Your friend Bob might send this to you and you're like, I'm pretty sure it's not Bob's real domain. I don't know what this is. I don't know what he's sending me. But if it's on Bob's own domain name, like imbob.com, then you might be more likely to actually pay attention to it, or at least less likely to be scared away by the address up here. MailChimp allows you to add your own custom domains, but it does require you to upgrade. It used to be free, but now it's an upgrade. To do the upgrade, if you want to do it, go back to your campaigns and then click on the down arrow beside the campaign we just created. Then click on Edit. Click on Edit URL. And we can click on Connect Domain right here. We can also customize part of the URL in the MailChimp domain if you want to. But if you don't want to, you can connect your own domain. And we scroll down to the very bottom to Connected Domains. Click on Connected Domain, and then you upgrade. Then you change some CNAME information wherever your domain name is hosted. It walks you through how to do that with detailed instructions. And then you can have your own custom domain for your landing page. And just for sake of completeness, let's go back to our campaign and make sure the opt-in actually works. So let's view this page and let's have Bjorn3 as the email address. Get your checklist success, check your email for your free download. And now we should be able to go back into our MailChimp account and go to audience. We have 3 contacts. Let's go to all contacts, see them all. We have Bjorn2, Bjorn3. We even have this one. Looks like in the time that I had the domain up somewhere, somebody came and spammed it, because I didn't do that. Somebody was doing this while I was playing around on our demo site. It's on the landing page for some reason. Anyway, I don't know who did this. I didn't. So now let's make sure there's an email sent out when someone signs up. To do that, we go to automations. And this is where we create our email. Let's go to create and choose classic automations. I want to choose welcome new subscribers. We're going to call this just welcome email. It goes to this list right here. We're not going to have an onboarding series or education series because these require paid plans. We do get to create a welcome email that's automatically sent out to our subscribers. And this would be where we add our download link. Whenever someone signs up for a PDF, this would be where we want to send the PDF from. So at the very top, we have when we send it, and this would be immediately after they sign up. So they fill in the form and they get this email right away. That's usually default. You can also delay it if you want to. But for the case of a welcome email, you usually don't delay it. You can also trigger when you import subscribe contacts. Most contacts that have already been subscribed that you import are likely have received your welcome email in the past, so you don't want them to get it again. But you could have a different campaign for them if you want to, as long as you have a paid plan to make that happen. The from is pre-filled from what we set up earlier in our default settings. The subject is thanks for joining us. We think you'll like it here. Let's edit that. Here's your top 10 email marketing tips checklist. And let's add in square brackets download, so they know there's a download in the email, or at least it's a clue there's a download in the email. Then we have the preview text. This appears on a lot of different inboxes these days. If you don't fill this in, it's going to take the first part of your email, which isn't always the best thing to have in here, because it's usually like, hi, Bob. So in here in the preview text, it'd say, hi, Bob, ... Whereas you can use this area to be a little more persuasive in getting people to open. For example, we could write 9 out of 10 people love this checklist. If you're going to add stats like that, obviously you want to make sure they're true, but this would be something that gets people more interested in the download perhaps. Click on save whenever you have that done. Then we can design the email by clicking on design email, and we can choose templates from the left if we want to. I usually like to choose plain text because that offers the most deliverability. So I'm going to stick with plain text. This is the simple, pretty sure this is the simple text one on the left here that we're using right now. Edit our email, we have to exit the template section. Then we can edit again. We can add a logo right here. This is a good idea for emails. It's not as important on landing pages to have your logo top, front, and center and big, but on emails for your branding, I think it is fairly important. People usually have more time to scroll and more time to look down in an email because they're motivated to read the email. And so a logo in an email is okay. You have it linked to a web address. I usually don't do that because on mobile phones, sometimes you touch it by accident and it goes to the website, whereas you just wanted to read the email. Anyway, I put a logo in, but not have it linked to anything. And then this part here looks a little scary, but it's basically a merge tag. And it is going to add the F name, first name, which is this right here. This merge tag adds the first name. The if F name and end if checks to see if this user record actually has a first name. If there is no first name, all of this won't appear. So it'll just be hi, comma, if the person did not enter their first name when they signed up. If they did enter their first name, it would say hi, comma, and then have their first name. So that's perfect having that if statement. And here, let's just say, download your top 10 email marketing tips PDF here. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Talk soon, Bjorn. And I'm going to left align all these things. Then you can highlight the text, any text that you want to have be a link. Click on the link icon, and you can add a web address. And this could go right to a PDF. You could upload the PDF to your WordPress site and then just link to that. And I think I probably have a PDF already in this site, the demo site. Let's check out the media library, see if I have one. And I don't. But if I did, I could just put that right into here. Actually, I know where I have a PDF. Beacon.by is what I use to make the PDFs for WP Learning Lab right now. So you could go into any PDF or get a link for any PDF. Get the share link right here. Just paste it into here. Loads a preview, pulls it in, so that's great. Click on Insert. Click on Preview to see how our email previews. And we can click on this link and it should take us right to the PDF. And there it is. So when they receive the email, it will go right to the PDF when they click that link, which is exactly what you want. You want to deliver what they asked for as soon as possible, but you do want to spend more time welcoming them to your list and saying and detailing what kind of value you're going to provide, because you want them to stick around. You don't want them to just click the link, down the PDF, and then unsubscribe. So you want to make sure that by staying on your list and reading your emails, they're going to get a lot of value from you. And you want to take some time crafting, especially the first few emails that you send. Click on Continue. Whenever you're ready, we're going to assume that email is done and ready. And we've got an error here saying we have to remove a placeholder image, which is the logo. So I'm just going to replace it with the one image we have. Click on the logo, click on Set Logo. It looks like we have to upload it. Well, I'll just find an actual logo then. And let's use this one. And I'm going to shrink it down, doesn't have to be that big. And then click on Continue. And there we go, no more errors. We have this warning. We automatically add a required referral badge to your email footer, and that's okay. This is the same as the opt-in forms we created earlier. If you upgrade your account, you can get rid of the badge, but if you have the free account, you got to keep the badge. Then we click on Start Sending. Your automation is about to start that will send to WP Learning Lab. Click on Start Now, and this should not send to people who are already signed up. This would be sending to new signups to that audience, WP Learning Lab, not to existing ones. Let's go back to our workflows to see all the workflows we have, which is just this one. Then over time, you see some stats appearing here. So this is the automated email that's sent out. But you also want to send one-off emails, also called broadcast emails or newsletters. And we do that by going to Campaigns. Just open a new tab and then click on Create a Campaign and then choose Email. Let's call this Newsletter for May. And we can choose who to send it to all subscribed contacts in this audience. We can edit the recipients and we can have them send to only specific tags. So all the tags that you have available to you will be listed here. You even have pre-built segments, new subscribers, active subscribers, inactive subscribers. Those are defined by MailChimp itself, and these are the tags you pick. So you can send it to just a subset of your audience if you wanted to. And you can add merge tags to personalize the to field. Fname is usually a good thing to have in the merge tag for the name field, or for the to field, sorry. So it says to Frank or Jane or whoever. And the from is our default again. The subject line is, this is our May newsletter. Not great, but also not the worst. I'm going to leave preview text blank. Click on save. Then we design the actual email. You can use the classic builder or the new builder. I'm going to select the new builder. Why not get the newest, the latest, and the greatest? Pre-fills our logo, which we uploaded earlier, which is now a default for our account, this logo. So all new emails that are created are going to use this logo. We can use templates again, same ones we saw before, or just build with the logo with the template we have already, which is just the simple template. So I'm just going to quickly edit some things. Let's choose a photo. Let's select an image. We'll use this one. This is our favorite one. And let's just say it's May newsletter time. Let's get this summer started. Button text. Click here to view the full post. For some reason, our headline disappeared. Did I press delete by accident? Let's just add our heading back in. We'll click on the plus icon. You can choose any one of these options. It's the May newsletter. Let's center that. All right. Really basic customization. You can make images, clickable links as well. Just add the link address over here after you click on the image. Click on Continue when you've created your email, and now we're ready to send. To send it, all we do is click on Send. You can schedule it if you have a paid account, so you could schedule as many as you want in advance. But with the free account, all we can do is send right now or finish later. So you could create the email. You could create 20 of them, just have them in draft, then come back in here and send them on the time and day you want them to be sent. I'm going to send them right now to our 4 subscribers by clicking on Send Now. Now the email is sent, and after a little while, you can see what kind of engagement you have in your email. You can track your stats with the mobile app if you want, or inside your MailChimp account, go to Campaigns and Reports, and you will see, let's see, where is it? Here, Newsletter for May. You'll see how many opens and clicks you have. You can view the report to see more details. You can actually see the individual people who clicked, 24-hour performance, all kinds of information here that shows up after a little while. Next, I recommend you check out this playlist right here, which is all about MailChimp and helping you get better at it so you can use it more effectively in your business. So check out that playlist, and if you haven't done so yet, click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. My name is Bjorn Allpass in WP Learning Lab. Till next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.